Hello everyone, welcome back. This is war number 10, the penultimate war, and the bands are exactly the same as always with Hercules, Ghost, and Torch. And the team today is Man-Thing, Nebula, and Moleman. And this is going to be about as good of a showcase of Man-Thing taking on Tier 1 war map as you may ever see. Just things lined up. We ended up taking 4 fights with him and 2 mini-bosses. 1 Moleman fight that you're about to see against his Overseer, and then Nebula takes a Dragon Man boss as well. So I ended up doing all the right side minis and then just a couple fights on the way. So starting off, we're on path 6A. This is the prowess path. I'm not 100% sure why these champions are here. They feel a little bit like filler, but I guess, you know, the strategy being you don't necessarily want to put mutants here because Nimrod's just going to destroy mutants who gain prowess. So without true accuracy, we would have to worry about this auto block, but I'm going to just be alternating combos from heavy to medium light. That's going to help with the combat deja vu. And now we're going to show off bugged Moleman, where we can get true accuracy and frenzy at the same time. But you want to be landing a lot of heavy attacks anyway with Moleman, so alternating heavies with medium lights just kind of plays into the play style. We get to our special 2, and I didn't do power back boost because I knew this would be such an easy fight. We're even healing off of the special concussion so that we're going to end with basically a full yellow bar there, and he didn't even throw a single special attack the whole time. So yeah, Moleman in his current state works that way, and it's a little cheesy, but you know, it's how he works, and he's worked that way for over a year now. So yeah, there's Moleman for you. Next up, we have Sersi here. I have not fought Sersi in war yet. In fact, I haven't really fought her much at all since her event quest, which was a while ago. And I do understand this placement a little bit because it has the Power Focus 2. And we're going to see an interaction later in this fight, which is really why I think she's here. But for the most part, it's just the fact that you have to bait a lot of her specials and that she is slightly annoying for some mystics because of the glancing. So like Dr. Doom's stagger and power control may not work. So we waited out the glancing. We throw that. We get our first set of armor breaks and stuff. Now, because she's over 2 bars of power, her combat power rate is reduced. It is safe to throw this special 3. A lot of mystics here are going to do great because she feeds Mystic Dispersion as good as anyone. So I'm just trying to kind of keep aware of how much power I have, how much power she has. I practice baiting this special 2 a lot. It's 2 very quick swipe backs at the beginning. It's actually a little bit faster than you might think. So if you ever do face her and you know she's going to throw a lot of special attacks, it might be worth practicing it a lot. I did duel her a pretty decent amount to get to this level. We're going to throw another special 3 now just because it was ready. Probably not the best time to throw it because she did have the glancing up, but I did it mostly to kind of clear the fight and to get back into it. So now the glancing is on cooldown. We can freely throw our special 2, which does a lot of damage. We're going to have to bait out another one of these. Just watch the swipe back timing. It's 2 very quick ones. I throw the special 1 just to kind of drain my power again. Here we go, swipe, swipe. And then I do like another dash back and then 1 more. And then she's almost closed out. We haven't taken, you know, any damage basically. And this is where I make my mistake. Power Focus 2, right? So in my head, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, you know, however much power I'm going to give her is not going to give her too much power because once you get over 2 bars, you're set. But look at this. So she's like very, very close to red. And I realized this is because when the special 3 launched, she was under 2 bars of power and it counts as 1 giant hit. So essentially that 1 giant hit gave her even more increased power rate. She also has this power gain buff from her SIG ability. So now I'm worried she's going to go red and she places incinerates on you when she goes red. So yeah, I'm going to have to kind of dance around to get out of this part of the fight. But that was clearly a mistake by myself. And I think one of the reasons she is a good placement here is because any Mystic is going to be throwing a lot of special 3s, and this very thing can happen to you. So we have to bait this out. We've had good dexes so far. This one, because I'm close to the wall, I mess up that final one. I was a little early, and even though I had indestructible boost on, there is a burst of red damage. So I ended up losing like 11k health. But fortunately, I think because of the indestructible boost, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Getting hit by a special 2 could have been a little ugly. He does have the resistance to crit damage, which would have helped. But either way, the fact that I had the invulnerable on means I only have to pop one of those big potions to top off, and we're good to go for the rest of the war. So now I'm moving up to this Nova. We've been taking this with rank 4 Doom, and it's been working out fine. I took a blank empty lane there over on 3B, and this is a fight this is sort of the entry level fight for Man-Thing, the one that kind of got him in the door earlier in the season, and the reason I ranked him up. We actually did have a Horseman Archangel over here, but just because of like the time of day and who was available and who had pre-fights available for the mini bosses, I decided to just go ahead and take it. Both him and Horseman Archangel are pretty equal in terms of hard countering this node. So yeah, we're basically doing Power Start 1. We're going to throw our specials as soon as we get them, which is going to help with the combat power rate strike counter. But even if we get some of the power suppression passives on us from that strike counter, it doesn't really matter because we're building so much power with Mystic Dispersion, and that really only stops your combat power. So you're seeing, again, like we just have to bait this special 2. We have the spacing right there. We're going to throw another special 1. We basically always have power. Whenever he has the postules on him, we're going to throw our heavies to nullify them. Usually do 1 hit into a special. Between Despair and the poisons, he's not going to be healing at all from Buffet. And that's just absolute control of a fight. Mystic Dispersion 5 out of 5. Going up against a Cosmic. Lots of buffs. Controlling the healing. It's just a very, very good matchup. And like I said, it's kind of the entry level. So this next Mysterio fight, this is probably the only one where Man-Thing isn't like the perfect counter here. But I do think it's an interesting placement for Mysterio because Corvus will not work on Safeguard. So that takes out sort of the easiest Mysterio counter. Quake, probably not the best because of the recovery. It means all of those debuffs, the willpower healing is going to be pretty high. Man-Thing is good because you can armor break him and then he becomes not poison immune, so my poison debuffs will work. So I was doing short combos and leaning on the Petrify 3 out of 3 mastery at the beginning so that I can build power faster than him. Now we're kind of on a roll. I decided I'm mostly going to use the special 2s to evade because that gives me a debuff for willpower healing. So we push him a little far there. I have to remember that this doesn't have power focus 2. But yeah, baiting this out, we get the power drain on us, which isn't a big deal. It's just a little bit of willpower healing. There, I'm assuming that was like a input issue or something because I really don't know how I got smacked in the face. There, Stand Your Ground completely saved my butt. I do think Stand Your Ground is a very underrated mastery just because of that. But we are in pretty good shape now. Now we're starting to get things rolling. Took some hits at the beginning. You know, Mysterio is just a weird champion to fight. He throws those heavies a lot. He's very erratic. He doesn't always do what you expect. So putting him on a safeguard node where it's going to take a little bit longer to get him down, I suppose is a decent enough placement because, you know, it's just one of those things where you're probably going to make a mistake at some point. I did. That's why I did the invuln. There was no reason to even worry about like a Power Start 1 boost on this. So again, we're just kind of watching out for the miss timer there. We don't want to be hitting into him when he can miss, when he has that gas active. The armor breaks, again, those are turning off his helmet, which means he's no longer immune to ability accuracy, which doesn't matter in this fight. But the poison immunity going away is nice. It means that we can actually do some damage. It's a little bit reminiscent of that old acid wash Mysterio in Act 6. But yeah, we're closing out the fight now. So even though we took those hits, this is a node that I think almost anybody can counter here. And the fact that the next fight is going to be like an amazing Man-Thing matchup, As you're about to see, it just kind of made sense for me to boost and do all of these minis. No issues there. I've got the armor break, I've got the poison. It bypasses safeguard just a little bit. So this next fight is going to be beautiful. This is so good. We got the stunning reflection, which means, poisons are going to be turning that off. We've got armor breaks in our kit, so we can remove his armor. We've got nullify to remove his armor. And the underrated thing about this fight is the spacing. Like, we're going to basically be doing Tigra style with heavy counters here. So we start off with an intercept, and we're going to throw the special 1. And my goal is to heavy counter here to pop the postules. So here we go. The spacing is good. The reach is good. So now the shield is down. I could have stunned him there, but we're just going for it. So now we bait this out. Spacing, just like Tigra. We're going to step back into that one. We already have another special, so we're going to throw it. It gets auto-blocked, but it doesn't matter because the distance is good. Once again, we're going to heavy counter the special 1 with that incredible reach. We have another special ready. Doesn't get auto-blocked. Here we just take a blocked hit. We're going to try to bait another special 1, or why not just throw this straight into him. He's almost gone. Is he going to throw one more? Nope, we're just going to heavy counter there. And man alive, what a good counter. I'm just so happy with that choice, because I do think that, like I-Bomb or if Human Torch was available or something, might have been able to do it. But I don't know, man. I don't know if there's a better counter than Man-Thing on that node. You always have power. You always have poisons. The heavy attacks do a lot of damage. The spacing is incredible. That was fun. So next up, we have this Dragon Man. This is my final fight. And the goal here, we do have the House of X pre-fight, which I probably don't need, but it is just nice if the fight gets a little out of control later that we are able to parry and not worry about the Limber Mastery. So I parry at the start just to kind of get some hits in and to get rid of the charge, the power charge. We want to build to 5 amp charges. Now the timer goes away. You've seen me do that before. When you have 5 amp charges, the ability accuracy of that cooldown timer goes away. So now he will never have his power gain charge for the rest of the fight. So I do want to just nuke him down. It's finding openings is a little difficult here, and I'm willing to eat a little bit of brute force to deal with it. Hoping that he throws a special 1 soon so I don't have to take more brute force. So yeah, it's a little ugly. This isn't going great, but I do want to kind of build up to, I had 19 of the shocks there, which is pretty good. That's going to tick him down a ton. And then he's basically down. So whatever, we're just going to kind of block bait this and then go back in and one more special and he goes down. So yeah, the strategy was pretty sound there. I did take some brute force damage, but it was worth it to build up the 19 or 20 amp charges and then send them over and then throw a special 2. That pretty much wiped him out, and then, just a couple combos and he went down. The big showcase in that fight is being able to turn off his power game and the fact that we were able to parry freely due to the strategy of throwing in Magneto House of X. So yeah, Man-Thing is pretty legit. Nebula is pretty legit. I'm really enjoying these teams of using some underutilized champions. Maybe that's a result of the bans, but it is nice to have a variety of rank 3s so that they can all go in and do some work for your battle group. So we are 5-5 on the season after war number 10. So this last war is going to kind of matter for Masters or P1. So we're going to do our best. And yeah, hope you've been enjoying the content. It's been fun to make it. It's been a really fun season. And I'll catch you in that last war.